Sunday. Hope you're all well. I've just organised some atmospheric rain noise for you. I hope that makes you feel nice and relaxed. Thanks for tuning in. This is our third Easy Like a Sunday story, and I've really been enjoying writing stories for you to listen to. I hope you've enjoyed them too. Just wanted to say thank you for all your feedback and for people that have shared the posts, people that have shared the posties, and people that have subscribed as well, and people that have let me know what you think of them. Really appreciate that. I'll keep them coming as long as there are people watching them. So I hope you enjoy. The one this week I've written is called Sun, Sea, Sand and Soul Searching, and really the inspiration behind it was because I'm really missing being able to travel. Of course we must stay home, and that's really important, and I'm sure that a lot of people have had plans cancelled and trips cancelled, as I have had a couple of big ones, and so I just thought that it would be nice to transport us all to a place that's slightly warmer than here for 10 or 15 minutes and remember what it's like to meet people while you're away and stuff. So I hope you enjoy. I'll stop talking now and get on with the story. So I must apologise for having had a busy week, absolutely no time to research a French accent, so I can only apologise in advance for it, but you should at least be able to tell that it's a different person talking, but I'm so sorry. Okay, enjoy and see you next week. Bye bye. Sun, sea, sand and soul searching. Mandy wasn't sure if a week was going to be enough to find herself, but she would bloody well give it a good try. She'd just have to cram a lot in, and maybe, just maybe, she'd find bits of herself. A left leg here, an elbow there, some calm and creativity maybe, some confidence and self-love. Mandy was a bit lost, you see. Her friends had drifted away due to circumstance and distance. Her job was a bit boring and a bit stressful. Well, that was sort of it, really. She'd drink a bottle of wine or two to herself over the weekend, and then it would be Monday again. And so on. She needed something to shift, and she was hoping this week might provide some clues as to what to do about it, if she could just get over the self-doubt. What Mandy didn't realise was that she'd already made huge progress by taking herself off on her first ever holiday alone. Thailand had been the chosen destination. Well, it had chosen her, really. A bit far to go for a week, but the miserable time of year had dictated that there were going to be few places of guaranteed sun. It had been pissing down for 5 days solid when she left England. In fact, she dripped all over the perfume tester counter in the airport and got told off by the lady. She quickly sprayed all the Chanels and legged it, making her way to the lounge. Oh yeah, the lounge. It was amazing how her air miles had added up thanks to her turning her Tesco club card points into Avios. It had finally paid off being a grocery shopaholic. She'd accumulated enough for return flights and access to the BA airport lounge. She'd never been in a lounge before. Needless to say, she went straight for the champagne and ate as much food as she could in the little time that she had. She boarded the plane fairly squiffy and stinking of blue cheese and proceeded to write down her hopes and aspirations for the trip ahead, the influence of alcohol allowing her to throw caution to the wind. The next morning, however, she was cringing as she was reading it back. Meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger. Oh, please, do I think I'm in a Mills and Boon novel? She decided the best thing she could do on her first full day and slight champagne hangover was to relax, soak up the sun, think about soul searching tomorrow. As she was drifting in and out of a sleepy haze and minor cheese sweats, she couldn't quite believe she was here. With all the glistening white sand and blue sky and the turquoise sea, it was peaceful, tranquil. The only thing she knew of tranquil back home was that was the first 2 syllables of the tablets that she took to help her anxiety. She was on the patch of beach right in front of the beach bar and restaurant that was right in front of the hotel she was staying in. The room was basic and tired, which is how she might describe herself sometimes, but it was clean and she'd chosen it purely for the bar and restaurant it was attached to. She knew that if she got too scared to venture out, she could at least prop up the bar every evening, and despite it being 2 minutes from her room, she'd still feel like she was still out exploring the world. So far, she hadn't moved more than 20 paces from it. She didn't feel the need. Bonjour! A very unexpected hello, which seemed to come from nowhere, made her jump and out of her slightly reddening skin. Towering over her, and blocking her sun, actually, was an incredibly tall, saronged woman with soaking wet hair down to her bottom and a big smile on her face. Mandy started to say that she didn't speak French, hoping that would make the woman leave her alone, but the stranger said, "Oh, I know. I saw you in the hotel bar last night. I was going to speak English with you anyway. Mind if I sit and dry?" Mandy didn't get the chance to think of an excuse in time. The lady had plonked down her towel, made herself comfortable and lit a cigarette. "You have to go in. The water is beautiful," in an annoyingly cute French accent, sort of abrupt but endearing all at the same time. "No, I'm okay, thanks." Mandy couldn't help being dismissive, but she didn't want to be talking to anyone right now. She was groggy, tired, a bit scared if she was honest, and her cheese breath was making her feel nauseous. "You must. It's good for you. You could do with it, I could tell." With that, Mandy sort of huffed and said, I said I'm fine right now, and actually, do you mind? I was trying to meditate when you came over, and actually, that cigarette smoke is bothering me." "Okay," said the woman in her French way. She shrugged as she got up, not in the least bit bothered or fazed by the exchange, and walked back to the hotel. Mandy was annoyed with herself. Of course she was here to talk to people. It's what she'd been imagining when she booked it. But she'd imagined it happening when she was doled up in the bar in the evening with 2 margaritas in, not with her white belly on display and sweat dripping down her big red sand-encrusted face. In truth, she'd panicked, and now she felt mean and rude. As a telepathic peace offering, because the woman had now vanished, she could at least do was go into the water like she'd told her to. As suspected, the water was bloody freezing and she let out a muffled scream. But it did indeed make her feel better. Liberated, even. It cleared her head too. And she knew what she had to do. That evening, having applied a lot of after-sun and some daily body bronzer that she'd cunningly brought with her, knowing the tan would be a slow starter, she made her way into the bar. She was nervous, but she said to herself, "I'm thousands of miles away from home, from my life. If I make a fool of myself, then I can leave it here behind me, but if I do nothing, then what was the point in me coming? If I can't be brave here, then where can I?" She noticed the French lady from the afternoon and made her way over to her. Jesus, she had a lot of hair. Perfectly tousled. She was like J-Lo. Mandy, on the other hand, had tried to straighten her thin frizz, and it looked like the hair a child might draw onto the picture of their mum. Just one line across the top of the head. "Excuse me, I didn't catch your name earlier. I'm Mandy, and I wanted to apologise for being rude or grumpy. I just wasn't very with it, and you caught me by surprise." "Stephanie, don't sweat it. Sit down, join me." "Thank you." Mandy sat. She was friendly, this Stephanie, but her manner was bossy. But charming. You just did what you were told. This is why it's interesting to meet people from different cultures, Mandy thought. 2 British people would have been there all day apologising to each other and then awkwardly sat separately waiting until they got drunk enough to offer the other one a drink. But brave new Mandy bought Stephanie a drink straight away, and it broke the ice and they started chatting. It was so interesting hearing about where someone was from and getting a tiny window into their life, learning things about somewhere you'd never been. Stephanie was here healing from a toxic relationship. She'd saved some money, she was taking 3 months off work, and she was travelling around Asia, and she was here to do her paddy. "You have to do it with me," Stephanie announced. "I don't even know what it is. From where I come from, a paddy's something you throw when you don't get your own way." "Okay, I don't know what you talk about. It's scuba diving. 4 days, and some guys maybe, good exercise, make you learn something, achieve something, feel alive." Absolutely no way. You must be kidding. She did a nervous laugh. "You don't know me, Stephanie, but this is not my bag. You would have to knock me out and drag me onto that boat. No. Not in a million years. Mandy was more surprised than anyone when she found herself being measured up for a wetsuit the next morning whilst listening to the safety briefing. She'd never been more scared in her life, but with her new long-legged, long-locked friend by her side, she also felt pretty excited. Today, they were going to be snorkelling in the actual sea to get them used to the water. Flippered up, she teetered her way towards the back of the boat, which is where they were meant to get into the water from. But as she got closer, she decided she was actually going to sit this one out. Peering over the edge, the anticipation made her want to do a pee really badly, and the motion of the lapping green water wasn't helping. No, this was a mistake. She'd just back up and feign a tummy ache. But as she tried to turn, she misjudged how ginormous her feet were in the flippers, and with her left one treading on her right, she toppled sideways, arms circling in an attempt to regain some balance, and splashed dramatically into the water. If it hadn't been for the reassuring touch of Rudy, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tanned-skinned Australian guide coming to her aid, she felt she might have cried, died, or actually wet herself. You're okay, look at me, you've got this, you're here, you're doing great, you're okay. He was so handsome with his salty, beachy look and his brilliant white smile that she would have believed anything he said. He could have told her that dolphins had beards and she would have agreed. So she decided to be okay, and now she was at least in the water, and she decided that it couldn't get any worse, and she tried to relax. It was as if that belly flop had slapped around the face and woken her up. It was a turning point. At the end of the 4th day, as Mandy and Stephanie celebrated with their 3rd Mai Tai cocktail, they once again cheered themselves to how brilliant they were. I can't believe we did that! Me! I've got a paddy, an actual diving certificate. I'm allowed to dive. I feel invincible. I feel like I could take on the world. Me and the turtles I swam with. The middle-aged mutant ninja turtles, Mandy said, slightly glassy-eyed. You are superb. And Rudy seemed to think so too, Stephanie teased with another cheers and a wink. Oh, look, I know nothing can come of that, and he probably looks at different women like that every week. But I have to say, it was nice that he was looking at me. Just made me think about how I look at myself, which is not very fondly, and I'm going to work on that. But he did ask if I wanted to spend the day on the boat with him tomorrow. Wow! Incredible! You're going, right? Well, it's my last day and I want to spend it with you. I'll only go if you come with me. We could all go as friends. But what about romance? I thought you wanted to meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger. Mandy cringed again. They'd had a few too many cocktails that first night and she'd shared her Mills and Boone secret. Look, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you were my tall, dark, handsome stranger. Huh? Momentary confusion came across Stephanie's face. When I arrived here, I didn't like myself very much. I didn't think other people liked me much either. I was scared of everything. I was bored, I was lonely, and I was sad. And I'm not saying that I'm cured of all those ills, but when you made the effort to come and talk to me, when you chose me, it just made me feel sort of alive again. And you've taught me that just because things are pretty crap, you don't just keep calm and carry on, you do something about it. You change it. You're brave, you're strong, and that energy is contagious. Your bossy way, making me do the paddy showed me what bloody fun you can have when you leave the comfort zone behind. And it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. So thank you for that. I mean, I'm still scared of everything, but now it doesn't paralyse me as much. It won't stop me from doing things in future. Yes, I've got a lot of work to do, but I believe it's possible. You've made me realise that there's more out there than just what I know and what I already have. I'm going to miss you, my friend. Mandy looked across at Stephanie and was surprised to see a tear in her eye. Several tears, actually. Her unfazed friend was showing a softness that Mandy hadn't seen before. You are a wonderful person, Mandy. You make me laugh so much. I have loved this week. It's been so long since I felt close with someone. I will miss you too, but we will always be friends. When we come back home, we can visit. We swim the channel and meet in the middle. Mandy wasn't sure she was entirely joking. And Mandy, we have encouraged each other, but I didn't do the paddy for you. I didn't buy your ticket, dear. You did these things. You are stronger and braver than you know. They had an awkward hug across the table and then raised their glasses once more. To friends. To finding each other and ourselves. The end.